Hello, welcome to Meet the People at SAP. I'm Shalendra and you're watching this simulcast live on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and YouTube. Hope you're safe and maintaining social distancing. In today's day and age, digital transformation has become very important. In fact, we do see a poll going around on social media which says, who is driving digital transformation in your organization? The CIO, the CEO or COVID-19? So COVID-19 has actually put an accelerator on a digital transformation, and everyone is now focusing on getting their digital story right. Here we go. So today we will talk with someone who is driving that in APJ. So for you to view this episode and other sessions that I run on emerging technologies live, I would request you to follow me so that you can be alerted when a live session is on. This gives you an opportunity to directly ask the questions to our guests. So please press the follow button if you're watching on LinkedIn and Twitter. Press the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Also, if you want to hear from someone in the industry, please mention their names in the comment section and I will try to get them here for you and you can ask them questions directly. Okay, now today's guest is Peggy Renders, who is Senior Vice President of the Digital Transformation Office for SAP Asia Pacific, Japan, APJ. She's responsible for the demand generation, development, and execution of solution support across industries and solution portfolios in the region. She has a focus on inspiring digital transformations throughout sales engagement, spearheading regional and market unit innovation efforts, and delivering the ultimate customer experience. Originally from Belgium, by the way, I lived in Belgium as well. So, originally from Belgium, Peggy has worked in Belgium, Germany, Australia, and APJ now and has global understanding and approach for her leadership. So let's not waste any time and without any further ado, bring in Peggy Renders. Drum roll! I could do that. Hi Peggy, welcome to Meet the People at SAP. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Hey Shalendra, thanks for having me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time today, and I'm so happy to have you on the show. So, Peggy, tell us about yourself, your career journey, and one interesting fact about you.
All right. Well, you already touched on a whole lot, right? So, born and raised in Belgium. We actually were chatting a bit before, and there's some people that we both know, which is from Belgium, which is interesting. But yeah, so born there. I'm a mom of two boys, 9 and 11. I moved to, well, let me take a step back. Started working with Arthur Andersen in Belgium in the audit department. Found that honestly extremely boring. So I only lasted 4 months. Then moved into consulting. And that's where I started getting excited about business process reengineering, and I discovered SAP. In 2000, I moved to SAP, worked for SAP in Belgium, worked 2 years in Germany in headquarters, which was a very exciting and interesting experience. And then in 2005, I moved to Australia, to Melbourne. So I am still in Melbourne, and yes, I'm in stage 4 lockdown. In 2018, I picked up an APJ role, and I have been working across the region for the last couple of years, which is a very exciting opportunity.
Okay.
You were saying something interesting about me?
Yes. I just wanted to say one thing that to all the audience, people who are watching this, guys, if you've got a question for Peggy, please put that question in the comment section and I will take that question to her. So do not shy. Ask any question that you've got for Peggy and we will take that up. Okay, Peggy. Next question to you I have is around the fact that how long you've been working with SAP? You mentioned a few years. And tell us what is the most exciting and rewarding, personally rewarding for you while you're working at SAP?
Okay, so yes, a few years. I celebrated my 20th anniversary just last month, 1st of August. And yes, but I'm not the type of person that you could probably say, okay, that's a person who will be in one organization for 20 years. But that's also linked to why am I with SAP. It's the variety, because I've worked across in many different countries, many different regions, and in lots of different roles. And what makes it always exciting is the variety of doing something different. We have amazing people at SAP, and a lot of them I would consider my friends. And then the last thing is that I find that at SAP I do get the flexibility and the autonomy to run my business as how I want it to run. So you have a lot of say in strategy and what you want to drive for the business you run.
Okay, that's good. Again, guys, please, if you've got a question, we've got now more than 30 people watching us. So if you've got a question, please put that in the comment section and I'll take. I'm sure you've got some questions for Peggy. Okay, Peggy, coming back to me and me asking you a question. Thinking about digital transformation, what are you seeing in the market currently? So if you go around, meet people in the APJ region, what do you see in the marketplace? What kind of questions, what kind of stories are your customers telling you as you talk to the customers?
Yeah, Shelley, a couple of different things here. So I was actually with analysts yesterday, and we were a little bit sharing stories and confirming that if you look at IT budgets and spend across the region, there is budgets being released to do digital transformation because it is so important, right? With COVID, the situation we're in right now, if there is anything being approved, is budgets to invest in digital. And also there's a revival of roles like the Chief Digital Officer, which we didn't see really for the last couple of years, but all of that is coming back thanks to COVID, I would say. So what I'm seeing is working, spending some time last week with other customers. I always, depending on the industry they're in, there's some industries that are sinking, there's some industries which are okay, like staying afloat, and then there are some industries which are absolutely surfing the wave, right? They're doing extremely well. And if you step a little bit above that and you look at organizations who are doing really well, so at SAP we advise a lot of organizations on digital transformations. And if you take a step back and you look at some of the over the last 10, 20 years, some of the recessions we've been through and the downturns, there's a couple of elements that stand out of what do these organizations focus on. And there's four of those that I would just like to highlight. The first one is situational analysis. And I always like to do a little bit of a personal analogy here when I talk about this. So, and everybody hopefully can relate to that. So in life, I try to live my life like this. I always try to think, how do I feel right now? Am I above the line or below the line? When I'm above the line, I feel like I'm in flow. Yeah, right. I feel like I'm open. I feel safe. I feel good. I feel energized. I'm curious to learn new things and explore new opportunities. And in flow probably describes it best. There's also moments where I feel I'm below the line and I feel a little bit closed in, a bit more in my head, get triggered quite quickly, defensive, not open to new opportunities and not into any new ideas, really blocking ideas that come up from others. And I would look at the world more from a world of scarcity and limitations. There's not enough time, not enough resources, not enough money, and so on. It's actually quite similar for organizations. And so the first thing I was saying, the first focus area that I see organizations who are doing well is situational analysis. They have a good handle on where they are, and they have a good handle on simulations and impact analysis. For example, Germany, I'm not sure if you know this, Germany decided not long ago to put their VAT from 19% to 16% just for a certain period of time. Now that has a massive impact to businesses. So you want to have a simulation of what does this do for my P&L? Where are the savings? How much can I pick up and invest in other areas? You can only do that with real-time analytics, right? So digital boardroom, all of those tools can really help you with that. Second focus area, and particularly right now with COVID, is organizational well-being. So the organizations I talk to who are doing well, they put their people first, not just their people. They're also concerned about well-being of suppliers and customers. And they focus on, well, first thing we had to all focus on in COVID is, are our people correctly set up to work from home? Do they have all the equipment they need? At SAP, we made some investments. We gave people financial support to buy a standing desk or a good printer just to make sure that they have everything they need. I heard a stat today. In Australia, 77% of people don't feel that they are set up to work from home in a good way, in the right way, right? So that's a little bit shocking.
Mhm.
But also people, when it comes to people, is mental health. So just communicating very often with people, that's what these organizations do, making sure that people are staying sane in this day and age, and that their mental health, that they are okay. Because if you think about what is an organization is a collection of human beings. If the people in your organization are feeling above the line and they're feeling in flow, they will come up with
Yep.
new ideas, transformational ideas, creativity. So that's the prime focus, I would say. Third area, focus area for companies that are doing well is process excellence. And
Yep.
this is SAP's bread and butter. So we've been doing this for close to 50 years. And the key processes that we see customers are focusing on and are being concerned about is, first of all, customer experience. Everything starts and ends with a great customer experience.
Absolutely.
Definitely in digital, if the customer experience doesn't work, there's no stickiness, right? Customers can switch to other solutions very quickly. The second one is supply chain.
Yep.
Can you actually deliver on the promise you are making to your customers? This is one that has been tested big time with COVID.
Yep.
So a lot of customers are focusing now on implementing digital supply chain solutions and making sure they remove the bottlenecks that they have in the supply chains. And then the last area around process is around spend management. It's a category that, to me, it doesn't sound that exciting, but it's one that is massively overlooked. Because if you think about, if you can do spend management and category management well, you can actually remove some bottlenecks. You can make some savings and reinvest that money in other areas where you need it most. And then the fourth focus area that I will just quickly talk about is, if you get number one, being situational awareness and analysis, number two, organizational well-being, number three, process excellence. If you have those three right, these are the prerequisites to do the last one, which is transformation, and then getting into flexible business models. If I have time, Shelley, do I have time for a quick example here or not?
Oh, yeah, of course. The
Cool. Perfect. So a really great example here is Brakes. Brakes is a food company from the UK. And when COVID hit, they do B2B. So they deliver food in bulk to restaurants and so on. So when COVID happened, of course, their business model was a little bit in trouble. So they were wondering, could we easily shift here to a B2C business model? But then they were a little bit thinking like, well, which consumer would be interested to buy 6 tubs of ice cream or 12 avocados and buy in bulk? So what they did is they used Qualtrics to do a quick survey with their customers and to pulse them and to see, would you be interested in this? Surprisingly, a lot of the customers were interested in it. We've seen this in Australia with people stocking up on toilet paper, right? But that's just a little side joke. But yes, customers are interested in buying bulk. So what they did is, and it's an SAP customer, so what they did is in 7 days, they copied their full website from a B2B to a B2C website and deliver the best customer experience. The other thing they had to do is thinking about supply chain, their routing and their transport management. They had to change all of that, come up with additional routes, more delivery options, and so on. So they did all of that. In a couple of weeks, they were up and running, and they're going quite well now. So this is one of my favorite stories around how can you keep your head up, think about possibilities and creativity, and quickly turn things around when things don't go well.
No, I totally agree with you. Actually, it is out of the box thinking in these situations like COVID, when you actually have to think how you can stay above the line, as you say, and make sure that you deliver the outcome to your customers in the best possible way. And I think these companies have done that very well. And by doing that, they're doing one more thing, which is very interesting to me personally, is when they go digital, they're creating stream of databases and data sets. So then they can use things like machine learning and analytics to actually understand, as you said, which customers would like to buy 6 ice creams or 12 avocados. So when you have that kind of data and you match that with the survey data, you are creating an experience which makes your customer so empowered. They feel empowered that they are in command. They know, the organizations know what your customers want. And that does a very good job for the organization. I think that's a brilliant example. And I think that's where most of the organizations have been, which have been successful, have been focusing on, which is brilliant. Okay, let me quickly get, sorry.
No,
You said,
I was saying absolutely. Yep.
yeah.
Data will be, has always been, but will be so much more important going forward in this digital day and age.
Okay, perfect. Any funny incident? So you meet a lot of CIOs, CEOs, CTOs. Any funny incident that you want to share with the audience? Anything that you thought, he's just missed it. You don't have to name the person. You can, whichever way you want to share.
I think we all have funny stories to share of what has happened lately, like um, being a mom and also doing homeschooling. I think we all have those incidents where our kids just rock up, or I got my kids guinea pigs with ISO, the guinea pets, right? That ISO pets, and not long ago, one of my sons popped up because he dropped his guinea pig and he was a little bit in panic, and I was in the middle of an important meeting. But I think we all have those stories. And what I'm really enjoying, Shalendra, is that in this virtual world, people are showing up a lot more authentically than they used to, right? There's no way to hide anymore. I'm not a big fan. I never put up virtual backgrounds. I just show life as it happens. And most of the people I'm speaking to as well. And it gives you such a beautiful insight in who they are, who their family is, what their surroundings are, and just get to know them. You feel like you're just a little bit closer to them.
No, I think COVID has done one more thing, which is personally closer to me. What I've seen is in the last 7 or 8 months, people who used to work together, or went to school together, or went to college together, have now started doing those calls to get and meet every month or something like that. So that, that just came out of the blue. You've got con calls happening between friends. I never heard of that in the past.
Yeah. I think we're taking time as well to think about what's important to us. And I see a lot of people reconnecting with values and people and experiences that you lived as a child or where you were born. I'm a lot more in touch with Belgium now than I've ever been.
Absolutely. And I was so close to my entire family up until last week, when we're having weekly conversations, a weekly Zoom call with everyone, and everyone comes online. My mom, who didn't know how to use the phone, is on Zoom. So yeah, things have changed due to COVID, but that's the reality of it. Okay. What challenges do you see? So we've talked about where people are going, where the organizations are going. What challenges do you see that is making it hard for organizations to progress? And I'll take it in two folds. What challenges do you see, or did you see before January of 2020, and then post January of 2020? What kind of challenges are the different challenges, or the challenges are still the same? What do you think?
I think the challenges are quite different. I think before COVID, the biggest challenge I saw for organizations to really transform was this digital was like a nice to have. You had your normal way of doing business, and then digital was like, yeah. And we've had this rise of the CDOs and digital transformation in organizations 5-7 years ago, and it was a hot topic and everybody was talking about it, but I felt quite disappointed. It was just too slow. Nothing was happening really. Well, there were things happening, but I didn't feel that everybody was like full in. And then COVID happened, and you had no choice all of a sudden, because an example here, I had a plan with my organization. So part of my organization, we were on this journey of turning that from a specific customer segment into a digital support organization. And we had this go live plan of we will go phase 1 in April, and then next year phase 2, and quite slow, right? Because the biggest hurdle we had was the mindset of our salespeople saying that no, we can't have people dialing in remotely. We have to have them face to face. They have to fly to Malaysia for a 2-hour customer meeting. It's too important, right? So all of a sudden, in one day, everything changes. So not just that part of my organization, the whole organization, everybody is virtual and remote and digital, and it's working. So that challenge we had before around mindset, that's gone, right? The challenges I see now are different. The challenges I see now are around people.
Yep.
I come back to above the line or below the line and mindset.
Yep.
So with isolation and different way of working, I do see people struggling with mental health, and I do see people. If you're not feeling well and you're not thriving, you cannot come up with new ideas. You cannot drive transformation. So a big focus. If I was looking at the future of work, and we are doing a big piece of work internally around what are the jobs. What are the jobs that will be there around like in 10 years from now? It's like an emotional health officer, right? Or all of the roles are changing, and mental health and emotional well-being is going to be absolutely key, besides some really technical roles. So people, that's my first one challenge. Second challenge I see is processes. So when I spoke about process excellence, there is no room anymore for breakdowns or failures in business processes. Everything has to be running like clockwork, because if you think about the stickiness again, if it doesn't work, people switch. There's something else that does work. And then the last one is infrastructure. Infrastructure, not from a technology perspective, because if of course, there's the usual suspects around Wi-Fi, right? We need to make sure we have a good infrastructure in the countries that we operate in. But also infrastructure around, imagine working from home and doing homeschooling and so on going forward. You need certain infrastructure for people to have somebody who can help you taking care of the kids and just taking care of all the different components. And that's a community thing that has to happen. So the importance of the community to me is just coming up.
Yep. Okay. So now, where do you see all this going? The COVID, my thinking, we'll have to coexist with COVID. And that is where it's going to go. At some point in time, things will go down in terms of COVID, and things will come up. But where do you see the future of digital transformation? I think, my personal view, it is really, really bright, and COVID has actually accelerated it. But what is your point of view on the future?
Yeah, so just picking up a little bit on what you said about digital and digital transformation. Yes, it is good. So when I look at the future of work, there is these two big pockets of roles. Three big pockets that I see. There is data. You touched on it. I know you're passionate about data, Shelley, so I am too. But it is very important, right? Data, cybersecurity, all of that. What can you do with the data? Being creative around business models. Then the second area I see is around digital. And doing, for example, demand generation campaigns and sales campaigns, all digital. You need different infrastructure. You need different, your assets have to be different. They have to be beautifully designed. So we are looking at, or we already have, but we will look at this even more, roles like designers and video crew and set up to do all of this professionally. And then the last one is around the people, the emotional health, giving people an opportunity and permission to have a much better work-life integration. And that's what I wanted to really come to is, for me with COVID, I'm actually staring at my vision board, and my vision board for the moment is empty. Because I feel with COVID, it's a clean slate. I think a lot of people have been doing some reflection on, well, what do I want to do with my life? Where do I want to live, right? Because there's no limitation anymore around where you live. Think about it. Doing a global role, being based in Australia, or also me looking for talent. I'm no longer limited. I had somebody in my team doing his job for 5 months from Germany. It worked fine. You can adjust with the time zones. So everything is up for grabs. It's this clean slate around what do you want to do? Where do you want to live? What are you passionate about? The importance of community. How can you contribute to community? So what I'm seeing, to summarize going forward, is COVID is here. I'm not saying it's here to stay, but there might be other things, right? But virtual and digital is definitely here to stay. But I see it more as a hybrid world. I see it as a world where it will be more up to people's preferences, to state how they want to work, where they want to work, right? As long as the outcomes are there. So we will be a lot more outcome focused instead of focusing on how do you do it, just as long as the outcomes are there, which will give a lot more freedom to people to actually design the life that they want to live.
Okay.
And that's easier said than done. It sounds amazing to design the life you want to live, but if you have to start from a clean slate, it takes a bit of soul searching and work to actually come up with your ideal way of living.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very, very well said. Before I get to my final question, I must say, guys, Peggy is on the roll and she's answering all the questions right away. If you've got a question, put that in the comment section. And yeah, we will take the question. And please like and share this video so more and more people can learn from what Peggy has to say. And these use cases are phenomenal. I think more and more we share them, more and more people understand and learn from this, they will get more ideas. And we need to help the society as we go forward and make sure that everyone gets into the digital transformation world and start digitizing stuff, because data is the key. Okay, my final question to you, Peggy, and that is, any existing use case, whether SAP use case or an outside use case, doesn't matter, any use case that you think, brilliant, that is something just out of the world and I want to share. So that's your time. Please share it with the audience.
Yeah, the one that I was very excited about because it tapped into my personal passion, which is conscious leadership. Not sure if you ever heard of that, Shelley. So conscious leadership is something where instead of just as an organization focusing on profit, you also focus on people and you focus on planet, the 3 Ps, right? And with COVID, I find it so resonating with a lot of people. And the use case that I loved about this is Walkers. Walkers, they make crisps, and they are an SAP company. So Walkers was one of our customers who was the first one to actually advertise the carbon footprint on their products.
Yep.
And they're using SAP carbon footprint analytics. So that's how they could do this. But if you think about how do you measure carbon footprint, you need to look at your supply chain. And if you look at the supply chain of crisps, it starts with potatoes from the farmers.
Yep.
So we had to help them and look into their full supply chain. When you look at the farmers, they produce potatoes, they sell them to Walkers. Walkers would buy them and pay for them based on weight. Similar as you and I, when we go to the shops, you buy potatoes by the kilo, so by weight. Now, what the farmers did is they harvested the potatoes and then they would put them in these massive humidifiers to make sure that the moisture content would stay up or even go up a little bit more. Because the more moisture you have in your potatoes, the more weight, so the more money you get for them. Then once Walkers buys these potatoes off them, the first thing they would do is put these potatoes in dehumidifiers to get rid of the moisture, because crisps are better when you make them from dried potatoes.
Yep.
That was a bit of an aha moment when the team looked at that analysis and said, well, that's a little bit silly, because of course the moisture, the humidifiers and the dehumidifiers, that's using massive amounts of energy, right? So your carbon footprint goes through the roof.
Yep.
So they thought about, well, how do we change this whole business process? So instead of looking at weight, they looked at volume to set a price based on volume. So they didn't have to do all of those manipulations in the process. So as a result, the carbon footprint went down big time. As a result, the process is a lot easier. They don't have to have these unnecessary steps anymore in the whole business process. And as a result, we have a better planet. So that's my favorite use case for the moment.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And I'm really, really happy to have you on the show. Guys, this is the time for the audience questions. And I've got a few on my board and I'll put all of them to Peggy. A thing for you guys, please like and share this video so more and more people can watch it, even a replay. And if you're watching live, you've got a question, please mention. And this is your time to ask her any question. If nothing more, you can say a hi and we will say hi to Peggy on your behalf. Here we go. Let's start with the questions. So the first question is, Bikash Jain says, when can we work on SAP using mobile? I don't know. Hi Bikash, how are you?
Hi, Bikash. Interesting question. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Means you can already use your mobile phone to work on SAP, right? Certain business processes can get triggered, approvals, and so on. So it's a broad question. Happy to.
I use my mobile for SAP. I don't know what is.
Well, as a leader in the business, I have lots of approvals and so on I need to do, and I do everything on my phone. All the collaboration, it all happens on my phone.
I think because you're missing something, please talk to your IT team. I think they're not sharing everything with you, basically, because most of my things are on the phone. I don't use anything else other than the phone. Anyways, let's move on. Next question is from Chirag Vyas. Hi Chirag, how are you? He says, can you help me about learning more on human experience management, HXM from SAP, and career opportunities after SAP HXM? Sorry. Peggy, do you want to take that question?
Yeah, so human experience management is a big one here. So experience management, I mentioned it a couple of times. I probably spoke more about customer experience, but employee experience is an important one as well. So a couple of things here. First of all, we with Qualtrics, we last year did a lot of work around experience management. And the main topic we looked at was how do we combine experience data with operational data? We call it the XNO, the power of XNO, because we believe that if you look at the business process, you need to actually infuse experience data on the fly. So how are the customers reacting who are interacting in the business process? How are they feeling about their experience? So we can keep on continuously improving that whole business process. That's one. Now, on human experience management, it's probably my favorite because let me take a step back and explain this to you. If your employees are really passionate and they are delighted to work for your organization, they will provide a better customer service. So the customer experience will be a lot better too. And if the customer experience is better, your organization will be more sticky. You will have more revenue, you will have more profit. So everything starts with employee experience and the human experience management solution. So what we have available there is, as part of our human capital management offering, a lot of these experience management capabilities are infused in our business processes. And it's one of our key offerings. There's a lot more there, but I think, for the moment, that's where I would like to leave it.
But I must say, it is, as much as it is close to you, it is close to me as well. I call it an MLM, and every employee is a customer for that organization. It's like multi-level marketing. If your employee is happy, your customers are happy because they'll be happy and they will go and talk to the customers and they're happy. So it's a multi-level marketing. You need to make sure your customers who are employees are happy and their customers are happy too. And that's why I think that's a brilliant thing to have. And I wrote an article about this around about 20 years ago, and explaining how a happy employee can have happy customers going forward. But that's a great thing to have. Okay, very quickly, I'm conscious of time as well. Chirag said, hi Chirag, he said, thank you, Shailendra sir, and thank you, Peggy ma'am. Thank you very much. Okay, there's another question from Mohsin Basha. Hi Mohsin, how are you? He says, in this pandemic, SAP have free courses to gain knowledge in this platform. Well, I know there are.
Yes, we do. There's lots of free stuff. I didn't prepare this, but I have some barcodes. I did a presentation last week and shared some barcodes with the audience of free stuff that they can get. But I'm not sure if we can. I can put it up on LinkedIn maybe afterwards.
Yeah. If you can just put it in the comment section, that'll be all good.
Okay, so perfect. So let me distinguish here between free learning and then free stuff that you can get. I'll start with the free stuff. So I was mentioning this Qualtrics work. No, I probably didn't mention it. The Work Pulse survey. So when I was speaking about mental health, we came up with a Work Pulse survey where it's a survey that you do with your employees, and it pretty much gives you a feeling as a business leader of how are my employees doing from a mental health perspective. Now, this survey we have made available free of charge to anybody who wants to use it. And I will share this, but it's just one of the examples. We have many other surveys available also around supply chain that you can just adopt free of charge and use in your organization. Around other free stuff is we offer to our customers free value assessments, where as an organization, if you want to compare yourself to how are you doing in your particular industry, how do you benchmark against other customers in the same industry, we can help you with that. We can also help you to come up with a roadmap. If you want to implement some improvements, we can help you looking at which areas will you get the biggest benefits from. So where should you start? And then the last one for our customers that we have available is we have experience centers all over the world, but we also have one in Tokyo and one in Singapore, where we have the art of the possible is being displayed. So we have industry scenarios with really cool technology, and we invite customers to have an experience there and virtually walk through the experience center. So you can get intrigued and you can get inspired of how can I apply this technology in my organization and get benefits from there for our customers as well. So that's around the free stuff. Now, around the free learning, the best example of this is our SAP University, right? It's an open platform where we have courses from S/4HANA, which is our ERP solution, to human capital management, experience management. All these courses are available there free of charge. Even more exciting, I'm passionate about this one. This course is there for kids. So if your kids want to learn how to code, they can go to the Open University and they can follow courses on how to learn how to code, because our kids are the next generation and they will be there to create our future for us.
Okay. Actually, guys, if you're watching my YouTube channel, I had the head of Open SAP who was there who I interviewed, I think a few months ago now, and she explained how you could get free stuff on Open SAP. I think you must watch that video as well, Chirag. That will be Mohsin, that will be helpful. Okay.
Hey, Shani, can I just comment one more thing there? Because this is quite important, definitely in Australia, New Zealand, but also in the wider APJ. Mm-hmm. Did you know that the bulk of people implementing SAP are actually contractors? Yep. And what is typical with contractors is they are very highly skilled, but if they have to invest in learning and enablement, it comes out of their own pocket, right? They would have to give up on a couple of days of consulting and rates to invest in learning. Yep. So this is really an ask of me to all the contractors out there. Go to Open SAP and make sure you upskill on the latest and the greatest, because that's how you can provide more value to your customers, and also you can increase your rates.
Perfect. Brilliant. Very well said. Okay, very quickly. Next, Chirag Vyas says, great points like emotional officer and other such upcoming career opportunities. Thank you, Chirag. Guys, if you still are watching this, and I think I've got 40 people watching now. If you've got a question, please put that in the comment section. I will take it. If nothing more, just say hi to Peggy, and she's there on the show. So yeah, it's over to you. Okay, next question, very quickly. Poonam Sood on LinkedIn says hi. Hi Poonam, how are you? You are a regular on the show. Thank you very much for being here. Okay, next. Chirag says, please provide career opportunities for HXM field. Anything you want to mention here, Peggy, quickly?
Well, from an SAP perspective, we're always looking for good candidates, right? So I would say drop me a note. From a customer perspective, I come back to what I was saying around the future of work. So all these new roles that are being created, and that will be needed going forward. It's definitely an area to keep in mind. And it's the people are the foundation of anything any organization wants to do. So it's a hot area to if you're an expert in that area, it's good. Keep on investing in it because there is more coming up there.
Okay. And then it is our good old Marvin saying hello.
Ah, Marvin.
How are you?
Bonjour,
to
Marvin. Yeah. Marvin is married to a fellow Belgian.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yes.
okay. Marvin, we need to catch up. Okay, we've taken that one. It's Open SAP. Michael from I know.
Yes.
I
Michael
reviewed
is
it.
from VRL.
Yep. Village Roadshow.
Yes.
And
Michael and I go way back. Michael and I he used to be the BI manager as well at PowerCore, and I've worked with him in many different opportunities. Hey, Michael.
And I had the opportunity to go to VRL and talk about analytics a few years ago. So I knew Michael from there. So hi, Michael. Good to see you.
It's a very interesting industry as well that they're in. So I'm very keen to catch up with Michael and hear how are they adapting to the virtual entertainment sector.
Absolutely. Parul Palli. Hi, Parul. How are you? Saying hi. Parul Palli saying hi, Shalendra. Hi, Parul. And Parul says hello, Peggy.
Hello.
So yeah, we've got, I think, most of the questions and comments got through. I thought there was one more question which I think I missed. Yep, maybe you want to take it. Raj Fairs, and he says, how is the career growth for integration, SAP PO and BPM, or CPI will override this?
Yeah, I can handle this one. So we are at SAP reinventing our strategy, and we had a global leadership meeting maybe about 2 months ago. And as you know, we have our business technology platform. So it's our basic platform in which we have the intelligent enterprise, so all the business applications, but also industry clouds. And if you think about that business technology platform, it serves it provides value in two different ways. The first one is it's an enabler for all the applications we provide, but it also is our platform on which we do integration, we do extensions, and we do all new developments. So if you think about industry cloud, where we are partnering, we're partnering with lots of other organizations to develop key industry capabilities. All of that will be done on the business technology platform. So any career opportunities in business technology platform, that area looks extremely interesting, I would say. So experience management is interesting, but technology, absolutely. So I would definitely upskill Raj. Definitely upskill in, we are not really talking about PO anymore. We're really talking about cloud platform, SAP cloud platform. That's the way forward. Upskill in BTP and SAP cloud platform, because that will be the way to go for any integration or extension you want to do on SAP.
Okay. Suddenly we've got splurge of people joining us. So we've got more than 45 now. Guys, if you haven't said hi to Peggy, you can say now. And also please like and share this video so more and more people can learn from some very good use cases which Peggy provided. Okay, very quickly, Peggy, couple of more comments. Michael says good time. And then there is Up Jahapni, and she says, hello everyone. Hi Up, how are you? And finally, a question from Sambal Nakwi. Hi Sambal. He says, hello, coming to new roles and opportunities like in HXM field, what basically is experience and degrees you look for?
So I can only talk about that from an SAP perspective, right?
Yep.
So in SAP, we have lots of different roles. If I look at the main areas where we always look for people, it's either in the sales area or it's in our pre-sales team or support team. Of course, we have also development out of Bangalore, out of Europe, Shanghai, but I'm in the field. I'm talking about these two categories. What we really are looking for is someone with field experience around human capital management. So if you want to go into sales, what that means is you will have to sell human capital management solutions to to CHROs, right? So you need to be able to relate to their world, talk about the main processes that they have, being onboarding, learning, payroll, and you need to have some experience in that to be credible and talk about that. Similar for the pre-sales world, but there you also need some technical expertise where you can really go into the solutions, but because you will have to demonstrate those solutions to the customers. Now, the area I mentioned around experience management, it's a little bit more of a newer area. And that's where if you would have a strong passion for human behavior, for example, that's also an interesting area that we would be looking at.
Okay, perfect. Sambal, hopefully you've got your answer. Raj says, thanks a lot for the answer, Peggy. Stay safe and be hygiene. And then Harish says, hi, Peggy. Hi, Harish. And Dayanand Hungergaker, if I've got it right. Dayanand Hungergaker says, hi, everyone. Nice to hear SAP updates and decisions in future. And with that, I would finish the audience Q&A. So, Peggy, thank you very much. And it was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I think you've answered all the questions that have come through from the audience and some of the questions from me, but it was great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Shelley. Thanks for doing this. I think you're doing a massive service to the community out there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye. So, guys, that was Peggy Renders. It was great fun having her on the show. Great insights, some great updates on SAP. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, if you're watching it on LinkedIn, please press the follow button. If you're not watching it on YouTube, please press the subscribe button and smash the bell icon. If you're watching it on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter for all the other updates. So I keep on going live almost every week twice, and hopefully you guys will watch us, the Women in Data Science show, the AI Startup Insight series, and there is one more coming very soon, apart from the Meet the People at SAP. So thank you very much for your time, and it was a pleasure to have all of you on the show. Thank you. Bye now.